My name is Joe Naholowa'a and I'm from Ewa Beach, Oahu. My mom and dad used to paddle with Puakea Outrigger where I grew up in Ewa Beach. And when they were paddling, the club was so new, they're brand new, the club was brand new, and my parents, they were part of that first generation that kind of helped grow the canoe club, and they didn't really have a keiki program yet. And I want to say about, I was probably like 10 years old, 4 or 5 years later, my mom came home from like the grocery store. I was like, hey, I bumped into Coach Mel, Uncle Mel, and he was asking about you. He was asking if you want to come paddle. I was like, yeah, I used to love going to canoe races. I was a kid that would grab everyone's paddles and I used to just love to watch it, right? And it was one of those, it was kind of serendipitous, I guess. She was like, like he was asking, well, you want to come paddle? I was like, sure. And so yeah, so I'm a new dad. I got a baby girl, and I don't know if it's, I guess it's a challenge, but it's I think the challenge of being present, when I'm off the water, with being a father, and it's the balancing of, time is, I think it's just the processing or just kind of understanding or realizing that time is so precious. It's not really maximizing the time on the water, but maximizing the time when I'm off the water and just being a father now, that I think it's kind of making that adjustment. It's a great challenge, and it's something that I'm grateful for, and just learning how to navigate that currently.
What makes you unique to Team Puakea?
That's a very interesting question. I'd say my perspective on paddling, I'm lucky enough to grow up in a beautiful place like Hawaii, right? And learning paddling through Hawaiian values, and my family and the club that showed me the way, and my family that showed me the way, and to be able to bring it to California. And I got to live in San Francisco and got to paddle up there, and about 5-6 years ago I moved to Southern California, and I think it's just a different perspectives on, and the different settings I got to paddle in, I guess, right? Like I'm pretty lucky that I got to paddle back home and then took it up to San Francisco, and now I'm here in Southern California, and it's just different. I like to say I have a pretty wide range on the the different perspectives on it, I guess. The first one that comes to mind is last year's Molokai Hoi. It's been a while since I've been able to do that special race, and I got to do it with Lanakila, and what's great about that crossing, it was a culmination of the guys I got to train with over the last few years, and it was a special race because it's been a while since it's been put on, and it was just so much fun. That's probably the first one that comes to mind. That's a pretty memorable one, doing it with the likes of Danny, Will, Josh Creighton, and the guys that I grew with at Lanakila Outrigger. And yeah, so that's last year's 2024 Molokai Hoi. That's definitely the first one that comes to mind. I just love to paddle, right? Paddling it's a pastime for me. It's a lifestyle. Puakea Designs is all about the lifestyle behind paddling, and it's as much of I guess an honor or a pleasure it is being a Puakea team rider. It's also a responsibility to perpetuate our sport, and it's it's hard to really explain how great our our sport is, you know, and to have the support and the backing from Puakea Designs is, you know, it's hard to appreciate I guess my gratitude towards it. And yeah, you know, it's taken me throughout the world, right? Like, you know, last year I got to race in Japan, and you know, and the likes of Kenny Kaneko, right? You know, setting me up with a canoe there, right? And going back home to race states, you know, or Koa Nui, I should say. Just having the, you know, the resources, but it's, yeah, it's, I don't know if I'm answering this question right, but yeah, I'm just grateful for the opportunity, and it's just an extension of my love for the sport, and it's pretty cool to be part of the Puakea Ohana. Some of my best friends are paddlers, and they've kind of become family over the years. You know, when I moved to the mainland out of high school at a young age, you know, canoe paddling was my that's how I was able to find my community, right? Like it was my way to stay rooted and grounded, you know, with my not just my culture, but just like-minded people. And I was lucky enough to find that community when I moved to San Francisco Bay Area, and then moving to Southern California, and the likes of Danny, Josh Creighton, you know, and just it's a tight-knit community, and it keeps me, you know, someone who's from Hawaii. It's pretty special that I get to carry that still, you know, being across the ocean. And yeah, I'm pretty lucky that I have that community here. So, piece of advice from my younger self, I guess stay the course. I mean I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm pretty fortunate, you know, with what, you know, I look at my, you know, I guess I've been doing it now for 20 plus years, and yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's just not take it too seriously, right? You know, I mean, I'm kind of, you know, you asked earlier, like, what is my greatest challenge? It's like being present, you know, as a family man now, and you know, and just, yeah, I'd say it's just paddling's always there, right? I guess that's the advice. It's one of those things where it's like it's always going to be there for you. And you know, if you kind of fast forward 20 years from now, you know, you wouldn't want it any other way. And so just stay the course. I guess that's my advice. Is it's all good, you know.